Hey guys, it's Britt, and today is Wednesday, September 14th, which means it's Top 5 Wednesday day. This is my first Top 5 Wednesday video ever, and for those of you who don't know what Top 5 Wednesday is, it is a Goodreads group created by Ginger Reads Laney, but it is currently being hosted by Thoughts on Tomes, and I will link that in the description if you are interested in joining the group. I think you should because these are really fun, and honestly, they're one of my favorite videos to watch. Okay, these aren't going to be in any particular order, but the authors and titles and everything will be listed down below. I don't know how to do that fancy thing in iMovie where you insert a picture of the cover and it appears up here. And I don't have physical books to hold up because most of them are on my Kindle, with the exception of Neil Gaiman's The Ocean at the End of the Lane, and it will quickly become evident that I, really don't read a lot of adaptations that aren't already television shows or movies, and I am quite a fan of Neil Gaiman. Anyway, on to that. The Ocean at the End of the Lane, number 5. This is about a man who comes back to his childhood home for a funeral, and he's drawn to this lake at this farmhouse that he used to visit as a kid. He doesn't really understand why he's drawn to it, but he is, and as he's looking into this lake, a lot of his childhood memories come flooding back to him. And it's quite a dark book, especially considering that this is a children's novel, but that is typical of Neil, and I think that this would be a phenomenal adaptation into a television show. Number 4. Okay. Labyrinth Lost by Zoraida Córdova. This is a new book, and it is about a witch or bruja named Alex, who on her death day ceremony wants to rid herself of her powers because she wants nothing to do with the bruja life. And for those of you who don't know, bruja is the Spanish word for witch, but brujas don't consider themselves witches. They are two completely different cultures, and this is inspired by Spanish culture, I believe. And when she tries to rid herself of her powers on her death day ceremony, when the living relatives and the deceased relatives come together to bless her, she attempts to rid herself of her powers. And how many times can I say that in one sentence? But regardless, I filmed this video like 50 times, no joke. She attempts to get rid of her powers, and instead she ends up banishing her family into this other world. And the first novel of the Brujas in Brooklyn series, there will be more, I'm not sure how many, but it's her journey on attempting to get her family back. And the imagery in this book is phenomenal. I think it would make a great television adaptation. Okay, The World of Ice and Fire. A lot of people want a Night of the Seven Kingdoms adaptation, which is all the stories of Dunk and Egg. But I would really like to see the telling of the World of Ice and Fire series from the Maester's point of view, because while the Maesters are knowledgeable, their information is not always correct, and I think that would be phenomenal to see on screen. And not to mention, can you imagine Game of Thrones with more than 3 dragons? Because that would be fantastic in my opinion. Okay. More Neil Gaiman. Okay. These next 2 are going to be Neil Gaiman. So, number 3. The Graveyard Book. It is about a boy that is raised by ghosts. It is loosely based off of the Jungle Book, only this boy named Nobody Owens, aka Bod, is raised by ghosts because his biological family was murdered by a man called Jack, and he stays in the graveyard because his guardians live there, and they protect him from the Jack that is attempting to murder him. And Neil Gaiman is fantastic, and this book was really, really, funny, and I think it would be beautiful seen on television. And finally, number 1. Did I say number 3? I meant number... Ow. Sorry, my candle just fell on me. The Graveyard Book was number 2. I'm not going to film this. And finally, we are at number 1. Neverwhere by Neil Gaiman. Well, I didn't technically read this book. I did listen to the radio adaptation of this on Audible. And it is phenomenal. It is about a world called Neverwhere, and it is kind of this magical underground London, and it is fantastic, and I hope that they adapt it into a TV show. And with that being said, that is my Top 5 Wednesday. And I am done filming this video. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.